All right, guys, welcome back to the last issue of Cobra Commander, issue number 5. So we're going to wrap this series up. Now, in hindsight, and I didn't know that, I should have reviewed probably this one before this one because this is a one-shot Energy on Universe. I have this in my possession a while. I still haven't read it because I knew it was part of this. So I'm going to take a crack at this little one a little bit later. But there is some things in here that have a very small dialogue that, reference to this one. So, but I already read this and I said, okay, we're going to do this later. Who cares? Anyway, so we start here at Mars. Mars is being, attacked by someone, right? It's been a lot of weapons destroyed in Vegas, Nevada, Alaska, Washington, D.C. And Destro is not very pleased. He says, who's responsible for these attacks? New player, boss. I only heard some whispers and rumors, someone recruiting mercs with promise of money and power and more. What could be more than money, he says. So this is his, superpowered assistance, I guess. I'm not sure what this guy can do. He says, well, it's working. They have been stealing from me. And basically says, we need to stop this. But they found someone's been captured. So it's been revealed that it's basically, who did this, left a message. And it's, all right, I see that my battery is about to die. This is Ripper. And he says, so why don't we kill the messenger? He says, please don't. I just want to go home, dry myself in grape soda and chocolate donuts and forget this has ever happened. I know you, says Destro. Dratnox, your people work for me, traffic weapons for us. You betray me. He says, no, not at all, mate. I'm just a victim. But, this guy wanted me to give you something, an invitation. So they goes to, a village, and they step out. There's nobody there, right? So that is already suspicious. And he says, what game is he playing? You don't get it, mate. The guy ain't right. He's sick. And then this contraption pops up. I will not fall for any fear tactics, Ripper. Tell your master that I don't appreciate being made to wait. But then a blood spatter against his, what is it? His metallic face? Yeah, I'm not sure this is a helmet or what. Probably. I don't know. And yeah, he says, no, it's happening again. Lasers and his people are dying, and so the other guy says, come on, let's get out of here. Think of us regrouping. Fine, get to the chopper. I had to do it. But the chopper is being destroyed. So, and then we have, of course, Cobra. I really don't like this suit with this stupid hat on it. I don't know. I just don't like this. He says, Mercer, earn your pay. Cha-ching. He says, wait. Says Cobra. I allow you both to live, and this is how you repay me. Let me kill him, boss. You don't think I have guns aimed at your heads? You are here as my guests. Okay, says this will let him down. He says, you're going to regret this. Oh, you have no idea, says Ripper. So Cobra says, hey, you are the #1 salesman around the world, and I'm a salesman too. I have an opportunity for you. Follow me, he says. So he's going to this lab. He's being introduced to Dr. Laszlo Vandermeer. He's basically forced into working for Cobra. He says, he has assisted my genius with unlocking a new element. Isn't that right, Doctor? Of course, Commander. Kill me, please, he says. All right. So it seems that Cobra, the commander here, has built this city, to develop his technology, right? And he says, I want to borrow something from you, he says to Destro. Talk about forbidden science and all that stuff. With different groups, says, just I've been watching the ways of the world, the different groups with the same ultimate motives, money, power, and control. If only they were united on a common leadership. Of course, he's talking to himself. So he acquired this, failed, faulty bat, right? He says, how do you know? Because you lack what I have. What kind of power source is this? He says, mine. But, it's energon, right? I guess. Watch and learn. So his people are here. I know this So then the bat appears and kills them all. You would kill your own men? There are always more where they came from. Besides, he says, fear and hate are useful for keeping people in line. I need an army, tanks, planes, weapon, all of Mars at my disposal. In exchange, I will provide you with my energy and technology, which only I can create and control. All right, so Destro says, okay, but I need to have some assurances. My own people will need to test and confirm your power. Right, so they are shaking hands, right? And so he says, who are you? The future, he says. Well, he's changing into, well, his other Cobra Commander suit, I guess, right? You, Rapper Dreadnought, to show you that I can be capable of mercy, I grant you your freedom. Run! No way, mate. The moment I turn, you're just going to shoot me in the back. I'd rather stay. So he says, I guess you have some brains after all. Come along, Destro. There's only one other thing I need to show you. My secret weapon. So Mercer says, this guy's nuts, boss. Remember what Duke said? He saw a different kind of robot, one that turned into a jet. This is no coincidence, but we need this power source. Therefore, we will play this lunatic's game for now. All right, so Cobra is just going on stage, right? Talking about purpose and, bringing domination to the world, I guess, giving a speech to all these guys. And then basically he says, we are Cobra. All right, it's not really of a big reveal, but it doesn't really deserve a double page, right? I mean, why do we have this empty with nothing in here? I mean, it doesn't really impress me. You should always, if you do a splash page or a double splash, it should wow people. I said it many times before. This is okay, but it could easily be in one page, right? Why do you need to do this with... I really hate wasted spaces. I just can't. Anyway, it's not my decision. Back at Cobra La, that little traitor lied to me. His metal monstrosity escaped and nearly destroyed our home in doing so. So I thought, who are you talking about? Well, you talk about this, because in the first issue, we see that Commander has, Megatron captured. And if I hadn't got this book, I had no clue what this was guys talking about, because, he was just only there for one or two scenes, I believe. And then, it wasn't mentioned before. So I thought, metal monstrosity? So luckily I have this one, right? Still, could have been better explained to a certain degree. But then Pythona says, it was a mistake ever allowing an outsider into our world. Lord Gullobulus or Gullobulus, I'm not sure. Anyway, and she can't get a hold of Nemesis, right? Look at this Pythona. He knew so much more about the specimen than he ever told us. It was not from the outside world at all. They escaped the war to come here. A world of blasphemous metal, our opposite in the universe. They betray our very being and everything we stand for. And now they are here now. They will bring about our demise. But we must send another agent to find the commander. Bring him back to us so I can squeeze the life out of him myself. I will explore the source of these invaders. If this empire of steel wishes to take what is ours, I will uncover their history and weaknesses, he says, and take this war to the stars. And I thought, wait a minute, this is it? So this is a probe going to Cybertron, I guess, right? Although the Transformers, good and bad, are here, but not all of them. So I wonder what this is all about. So it seems that I didn't know that. And that's a little bit, I think, the bad side with connected universes. You have to read other books to understand what's going on in general, which I don't like. I mean, I wish it was some kind of a self-contained story, maybe some kind of a cliffhanger, that gives us a little bit information about stuff that happens in the next one. But this basically suggests that you need to buy Destro, because in Destro, which I don't have, but I looked up a couple of pages, he is now working with, Cobra Cobra Commander because he has those bats. And I didn't know that, so I don't have the floppies, but I can probably get the trade paperback for cheap or something. Not sure if it's worth it, but if I know how this story or collaboration between Commander and Destro ends or continues, I need to know what's going on, right? And it looks good, you know, doesn't look too bad, I must say. Not sure if it's actually good, but that's the whole problem. I'm definitely not gonna buy Scarlet because it's by Kelly Thompson. Fuck it, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, overall, I really like the series. Too bad about this very open-ended cliffhanger, which probably leads into some kind of a Transformer war with Cobra or Cobra La and G.I. Joes, which to a certain degree I'm okay with. But like I said, you have to buy Cobra Commander, then you have to buy John Universe, and then you have to buy Destro. Not a big fan of that personally. Anyway, we're going to see how it all works out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.